Coffee smells 100 times better than it tastes, unless you like drinking bitter dark liquid, and if you don't, you add milk or creamer, which just makes it slightly bitter but still not good. And for those who add sugar, it gets too sweet for there to be a real taste. So I don't understand. I will have the occasional cup in a group setting or at my mom's, but I can honestly say I've never had a cup of coffee and said, oh, this one is actually good. People say if you buy super expensive ones, there's a massive difference, but I don't see myself making that investment, nor knowing anyone else who would in order to try theirs. It's just not good, man. Again, it smells amazing, but can coffee lovers just admit they drink it to stay regular and for the caffeine energy boost? This is a safe space. Whoa, was not expecting this level of response. The coffee lovers part was genuine humor, and I didn't realize people would take it seriously. This was not my intention to offend or sound haughty, but since people are messaging me privately to tell me about myself, I just want to emphasize that I was being playful with this post. I know that many people enjoy the taste of coffee, and that is 100% cool with me. I am just not a fan, and apparently have not had great coffee. Also, not a teenager and not a guy. Hello and welcome back to Metal Straws. In today's video we'll be covering posts from r/UnpopularOpinions. Let's dive right in. Yeah, sure, it's futuristic and all, but a lot of them are just becoming a hassle and a hazard. I shouldn't have to spam tap a screen to change the climate controls, whereas a dial would be so much simpler and easy to use. The screens are basically impossible to use with gloves on if you live in a colder place, and frankly, most automakers just suck at making them. They are super laggy and hard to use. Cars can still look modern with a clean button and a dial interior setup, and perhaps a smaller screen to display information. The infotainment system should not have to constantly take the driver's attention off the road. Backstories should not be allowed on America's Got Talent and other similar shows. I think backstories influence the judge's decision unfairly. Who would you rather choose? A kid who has a disease or an actually talented person but has had a good life? It's called America's Got Talent for a reason. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not some sympathy-less person. I certainly feel bad for them and do hope they have a better life in the future. I just feel like talent shows should be judged on actual talent. I agree with this person, that makes a lot of sense. Being too cold is way better than being warm. Random opinion I just thought about from past experiences. By this, I don't mean absolutely freezing/sizzling climates. I just mean from mildly warmer/colder weather than normal. I've seen myself be really stressed during warmer weather with no real way to cool myself at all. On the other hand, with colder climates, it's really easy to cool yourself down. Get under a warm blanket, get a hot drink, and just vibe there, I guess. It's really comforting too, probably one of the best feelings ever. Though this doesn't really make sense if you're outdoors and not inside. It's technically inside I'm talking about. Being outside is a whole different story. Though it's technically the same answer on that side, in my opinion. So in conclusion, I don't like going outside because it's too warm. Middle-aged guys don't buy sports cars because they're having a midlife crisis. It's because they can finally afford the car they want. I hate hearing people say, oh, he bought a Corvette because he's balding and needs to feel younger. No. As someone who's never earned much money because I made the spectacular decision to do what I love rather than what was lucrative, I'm finally in a position in my late 30s where I can actually save up to buy my dream car. I get it if cars aren't important to you. I get it if you dislike the impact they have on the environment. I get it if you think sports cars are too expensive and a hassle. I get it if you see a 40-something guy in a BMW M3 and assume he's compensating for something. But realize that automotive enthusiasm is a huge part of life for a lot of people and can often be the biggest connection they have to family and friends. As a car enthusiast, I look forward to increased electrification for a lower carbon footprint and ridiculous torque for better acceleration. I accept that my budget will have to increase for a cool exotic car and decrease for other pursuits. It's worth it to me, just like you might enjoy collecting stamps or having a closet full of nice clothes. It's also the first thing I think about when I call my dad, since he used to race cars and motorcycles in the 70s. We bond over cars and car news. So the next time you see some guy with graying temples and a widow's peak driving a Ferrari, understand it might be the real realization of a dream from childhood and try to, not dump on that dream because it's not your dream. My husband believes running pizza underwater to cool it down is acceptable. Pretty much what the title says. Not my opinion, but my husband's. In college, my husband and I would make pizzas in the oven, and he would run his slices under the water fountain to cool it down faster. He says it didn't change the taste, and was still good. News should be a dry recitation of facts. If it isn't, then it's opinion intended to stir your emotions into clouding your judgment. It's so hard to find a news outlet that would just present the information without spin, without trying to push you one way or another. I just want to know what happened so I can decide whether I like it or not. Why is that so hard to find? Quit telling me what to think. One of the biggest failings of modern education is managing to convince a whole generation that Wikipedia is an unreliable source. Wikipedia is a practically unlimited source of free knowledge which is constantly being monitored by an army of nerds. The fact that we do not have to pay for access is a miracle. Near enough, every article has a full and reliable list of references at the bottom. I understand that students should be encouraged to use the references at the bottom for true research, but that is not taught. Students are simply told, stay away from Wikipedia, anyone can change it, it's completely unreliable. Restaurants that have pictures of their dishes on the menu are amazing and should be totally normalized. Whenever I hear someone talk about a restaurant where the menus have pictures of food on them, they talk about it like it's a red flag. I want to see pictures of what the food I'm going to order looks like. It's so much easier to decide what you want to eat that way. Oh, and I don't understand how people can think it's tacky. Then look at the food at the next table to them and say, oh, that looks good. Then ask the other table what they ordered so they can order the same thing. I don't care if it makes me seem like a dumb, small-minded person. I want to see more pictures of food. It rules. Salt and vinegar chips are better than both sour cream and onion and barbecue chips. I am not sure that I agree with this unpopular opinion. That's right, salt and vinegar are the superior chip. Sour cream and onion chips just have an overly sweet yet salty taste that is just overwhelmingly disgusting. Barbecue chips leave your mouth feeling dry and bitter because of the awful taste. Salt and vinegar are just a perfect combination of flavors that is just overall better than other chips. And that brings us to the end of r/unpopular opinions. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Which unpopular opinion did you actually agree with? Let me know in the comments. I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!